I use a 4-point scale. It is simple to understand and there is no midpoint.
No, it's better to use a 10-point scale so that each score has more meaning.
The 10-point scale is too complicated for practical use. How about a 5-point scale so we have a midpoint? That way every response will be negative, neutral, or positive.
Hi, my name is Vic Hunter from Hunter Business Group. Today's idea engine is on buying behavior and scales to measure buying behavior. Now, let's focus on the buying behavior rather than on the scale. Buying behavior is all about feelings and needs and importance and performance and all of the elements of your business that impact the economic value of your customer. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about how do we measure buying behavior in a way that we can score the economic value of things that you do on your customer. The first work I read that clearly distinguished loyalty from satisfaction was the service profit chain from Harvard Business School in the early 80s. The zone of defection went up to about 3.6 on a 5-point scale, and the zone of affection didn't begin until about 4.3. On this kind of scale, you can see clearly that customers who respond with a 3 or a 4 are not easy to score. Is a customer who responded with a 3 in the zone of defection or neutral? Is a customer who responded with a 4 neutral or in the zone of affection? Likewise, with a 4-point or a 10-point scale, the inflection points for behavior do not map neatly to scores on the scale. Likewise, an individual scores of a 3 or a 4 does not clearly define a behavioral bias. You may be able to read the composite score with other scales, but you can't tell where you stand with your individual customer. So how can you take action? Measuring individual behavior to decrease the risk of uncertainty and reading those findings with greater accuracy is our goal. It's not the uncertainty of the response from the customer that is the problem. It's matching the behavioral responses to an appropriate scale so that we can make the right human and capital investments to build stronger relationships and to reduce that uncertainty. Here's what buying behavior looks like on a normal graph. Notice that it's not a straight line. Now, add your scale, and you'll also notice that the zone of indifference is not at the midpoint. In fact, a 3 on a 5-point scale is in the zone of defection. A 7-point scale is the only scale that fits the behaviors perfectly. It shows individual scores that match the behavioral inflection points, lending more confidence to your research findings. And at the individual level, a customer trusts their sales rep or doesn't. A customer is at risk of defection or is not. Technical support is a loyalty driver or is not. Your customer believes you understand their behavior or does not. These are crisply delineated measures of behavior and behavioral impacts, clearly spelled out in 7 neat points. Now's the opportunity for you to do this yourself. You can go back and find those behavioral surveys, convert them to a 7-point scale, and better match the behavior of your customers to the changes in the relationship you have with those customers. And don't forget HR. That employee satisfaction survey is a behavioral survey, and we can talk more about that later. If you have any questions about the service profit chain or about measuring behavior, just drop me a note or we'll set up a phone call. This is an idea engine around measuring buying behavior and how it impacts the economic value of your customer.